Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video in my plugin development series. In today's video, we'll be looking at armor stands and the interesting things we can do with them. By the end of the video, you should know how to use armor stands to make holograms, and hopefully you've gained some insight as to other cool things you can do with them. So in this video, we'll be focusing on creating holograms with our armor stands. However, there are many different interesting things that we can do. An example of an incredible use of armor stands is the robots that have been created by the Songoda team, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. Now, let's get into creating our own armor stands. If you're following on from my previous video, then this should seem very familiar to you. So, to create an armor stand in our world, we'd use the following code. So as before, we specify armor stand. I'll just name mine entity. Then we cast armor stand to player.getWorld.spawnEntity, and the location, in my case, will be the player's location, and then entity type armor stand. And that's it, spawn an armor stand at the player's location. However, the interesting element to armor stands come when we actually start to customize them. Similarly to other entities, we can give the entity a custom name, but with this, we can also add items, make them invisible, or remove the base plate. So now we've got our armor stand in the world, it's time to actually make it a hologram. So to do this is extremely simple. All we need to do is type entity dot set custom name, and then whatever we want to put. For this case, I'll just type hologram. And one thing we really need to make sure we do is entity.setCustomName visible true. Because to have a true hologram, we will need to make the actual entity invisible, which without this here, this custom name won't actually show. So we need to make sure we have that, and then we want to set the entity to invisible, set invisible to true, and what we want to do is set the gravity to false. And we want to do this so that the changes around the world don't actually affect the hologram. It'll just stay in place and float regardless of what happens. So again, to do this, we just set entity.setGravity to false. So, now this is done, let's have a look in game and see what it comes out like. So now we're on the server, let's type our command, which is just test. And we can see that the hologram is here. No, we can't. Okay, we can destroy the armor stand by looking at it, which we can change to invulnerable, which I'll show you in the next clip. But running /test spawns our hologram, and as you can see, the next is there, and you can't see this. However, if you want to see where the actual hologram or armor stand is, all you need to do is set your game mode to spectator, and we can see the outline of the armor stand here. So, this is all good, however, what we really want is to create a command so we can specify what goes up here. So, in the next clip I'll show you how to do that. So to create the command, in order to give our holograms a custom name, all we want to do is come back into the code, and like we did in the command arguments, all we want to do is create a variable here, so we'll call this string text, and all we want to do is type string.join. We want a space between each item, and we want to join the arguments. So what this will do, if you go back to my command arguments video, we'll join up each of the arguments with a space in between them. So, another good thing to do is to check if this actually has any value. So if we do length is greater than 0 or greater than 1, then we want to set our custom name to text. And if it isn't, we can give it a custom name or display an error message telling the player that they need to insert a name. But for this tutorial, we'll simply do a default name of hologram. So in the previous clip, I was able to destroy the hologram. However, if we type entity.setInvulnerable, this will prevent it from being destroyed. However, we will need to create a way to remove the hologram, which will be in another video. So let's jump into the game and see what this does. Okay, so now we're back into the game. Let's take a look at this. So we will type /test and our hologram name. So for this, I'll just do this is a test. And you see our hologram spawn, and there it is. So now we can destroy it despite putting the invulnerable flag. However, a way we can manage this is by either doing a permission-based thing. So on the event, we can simply type if they have permission to do it. or I believe it's because we're in creative mode that we can actually destroy it. So if we went into survival, we shouldn't be able to. So if we test this again without a message, we can see the hologram spawns with a default name. And we can specify this to however we want. So test, test, and this comes up. And we can also spawn multiple. So we can spawn as many as we'd like. So I'll show you how to add color to your hologram names in the next clip. So to give our holograms a colourful name, all we need to do is where we're setting the custom name, to simply type chat color dot translate alter color codes, and with single quotes we want to put the and symbol or symbol we like to use, and then the variable name, which is text. So for this example, if we did, for example, and6 test, this would make the test in gold. So now let's jump into the game and I'll show you how it works. So now we're back in the game, let's take a look at the custom colours. So let's type /test, I'll do and6 gold, which you can see is changed to gold. We can do what I believe and A is green. And we should be able to use bold colours as well. And I'll leave a resource in the description below so you can see all the colour codes. I'll destroy these. So that pretty much concludes this episode. You should now know how to use Armor Stands to create your own plugins, along with creating a command to spawn them in-game. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to stay up to date with all videos. Thank you for watching.